B1 family, welcome to Blacklogic. It's really unfortunate that the DNC convention last night, day two, was a big damn party that no tangibles were ever spoke about in a political and or professional manner. They had everyone to show up to dance a jig and to motivate black people mostly to come out and vote for your sister girl, Kamala Harris, however you see her. This was done expertly. This was a 5 hour plus party that encompasses stars, Aretha Franklin. They had Little John. They probably had who else did they have there? They had the Obamas. We're going to skim through a lot of this video, family, because it's 5 hours of a party. It's 5 hours of a party now because of copyright. They had one of our sisters, one of our greats, Aretha Franklin, singing at the DNC committee. And I'll just play this a little bit here, okay, just so you can hear it. See if we can get this queued up. All right. That's our sister Aretha Franklin singing her entire ass off. But nonetheless, family, the things that are important to us is not a party. It's not a get together. It's not a shindig. It's not a barbecue. It's not a cookout. It's not a family reunion. We're talking about tangibles. We're talking about policies that will change America. And this is how black folk get convinced, manipulated, tricked, and coerced to continue to vote for absolutely nothing. They give you the smoke. They give you the mirrors. They give you the entourage. They give you the mirage of things that may motivate you to go out and do something that you wouldn't have done if this wasn't presented in the way that it was presented. This was presented as a very good time. This was presented as a very exciting time. They was getting people very motivated. They had, I think almost over 100 people speak. I want you to think about that. They had representatives from each and every state. They had people who came out and motivated and gave different messages. This was put together expertly, family, but this is the sham. This is the guise. This is how they trick us each and every time. By the way, I believe this by far has been the most exciting, the most entertaining DNC convention I've ever seen. They put millions of dollars into this. They had all sorts of people show up and show out against this. So we're gonna get into it. Now, unfortunately, because of copyright strikes, I will not be able to show this, but let me build a premise. Let me just give you a premise. Let me build a foundation. Because did you know that in 2020, that election, the black voter turnout increased by 6% compared to the 2016, right? And this is all within contrast. 2020, it increased by 6%, but in 2016, okay, that's how much that it increased. And that's the year that Donald Trump got elected to be president in 2016, when 6% of black people say, I'm staying at home. I don't see anything that is beneficial for me and my family. But despite this historic turnout, the promise made to the black family by the Democratic National Committee, because this is where they come out and they state, they get you all excited, vote, do something, vote, do something. We're going to go over it, family. They have largely gone unfulfilled. They got our votes, but where is the progress? Where's the justice? It's time we took a hard look at what's really going on. And I'm like I said, I'm gonna skim through some of this. I'm gonna let you hear, like this young man right here. He got people motivated. He got people fired up.
Just our turn to defend our rights and to ensure that democracy doesn't die on our watch. It's our turn to make history, my friends, by electing Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of America. God bless you. May God protect. America is America to stand up for working people and to stand up for our nation's promise. It's
Now, I really want to put in perspective, he was one of the first speakers. So he got them really charged up, family. And a lot of things I want to break down here, because in every election cycle, the DNC has dangled the carrot of progress in front of us. And this is all about votes. This is all about power. This is all about influence. Okay, let's start with the promises they made in the last two elections. They promised comprehensive police reform. Remember the talk of redlining or re-inning in police brutality with measures like the George Floyd Justice and Police Act. You guys remember that, right? This bill was supposed to ban chokeholds and end qualified immunity and create a national database for police misconduct. And yet it's been sitting in Congress collecting dust while police violence against Black Americans continue at an alarming rate. We are still getting killed indiscriminately, more proportionally than any other group. And that also is compared to the dominant majority society of white people. We still get killed unarmed, unjustly by the police and any other group, but yet the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which bans chokeholds and ends qualified immunity and creates a national database for police misconduct, is still sitting in Congress, while police violence against us continues at a very high rate. They also promised to address economic inequality. The DNC claimed they will close the racial wealth gap with targeted investments in the Black community, not in the Hispanic community, not in the Asian community, not in the white community, even though we know that was going to happen, but specifically for the Black community. We were supposed to see increased funding for Black-owned businesses and significant changes to the tax code to benefit working class families, our working class families. But where are those investments? The SBA, or the Small Business Administration, they reported that only 2% of the Paycheck Protection Program funds went to Black-owned businesses during the pandemic. That's not just a betrayal, family. That's not a betrayal. That's a true and huge failure. And let's not forget about healthcare. Because Black Americans, we are promised better access to affordable healthcare with a focus on tackling these so-called racial disparities in healthcare. I don't know how we're going to change racism in doctors. I don't know how we're going to change racism in nurses. I don't know how we're going to change racism in medical assistants. I don't know. I see a lot of times the systems that are in place are really good systems. It's not the systems. Sometimes it's the people. And you have to have laws to justify, you have to have laws to prosecute people who are not adhering to the system versus the latter of the two, blaming the system and not the people. A lot of times in business, we are taught that don't blame the people, blame the system. But what if the system is intact? What if the system is solid? Then who's to blame? See, the DNC, during these whole parties, I call them, or these paloozas, I call them, they talk a big game about lowering prescription drug costs and expanding Medicaid for all. But here we are years later, and the Kaiser Family Foundation reports that Black Americans are still twice as likely as white Americans to be uninsured. We're twice as likely. So if you take 1 million white people who are uninsured, then there's 2 million Black people who are uninsured. How can we call that progress when our people are still dying from treatable conditions simply because they can't afford to see a doctor? How can we do that? How? And let me skedaddle this a little bit along, because I want to show you this big party that they had last night, family. This was a huge party. Okay, I'm gonna skim through a lot of these talkers. There's a lot of people from different states. They were really, but listen to this. They're doing all sorts of things. Family, this was a huge party. I can't play a lot of the music, but they was just playing music and playing music and playing music.
How do you cast your vote?
Jews.
Vote. Vote.
Legislature.
Thank you. Que será presidenta de los Estados Unidos, Kamala Harris. ¡Viva Kamala!
Viva la Mexico, because I'm telling you right now, family, I have nothing against immigrants, nothing against them at all. But we're talking about illegal immigration, are we not? This is the problem, family. This is the problem. Let me share a story that really hits home. Because back in 2021, a young black man named Elijah was pulled over in a routine traffic stop. He wasn't resisting. He wasn't aggressive, yet he ended up dead. His family had been waiting for the so-called police reforms that were promised, believing that they would finally get justice in this country. But that justice never came. Elijah's story isn't unique. It's the tragic reality for far too many of black folk across America. We put our trust in leaders who promise change, but time and time again, they fail us when it matters the most. The DNC, doesn't matter which one you go to, which one you saw, which one you listen to. The DNC broken promises aren't just political missteps. They're failures that cost black people our lives. It costs black people our wealth, and it costs black people our health. It's time to hold them accountable. Accountable. Stop getting motivated by these large parties that they're throwing for the 50 states. Stop getting motivated. Stop being influenced and ask them about the damn policies. What are you going to produce? What are you going to introduce? What are you going to sign into law? What executive orders do you have that is going to be specifically for Black Americans who have been harmed the most, who have been discriminated upon the most, who are down the most, who are the most homeless? What the hell are you going to do? We can't afford to keep voting for promises that never materialize. They never come to fruition. The only thing we get is propaganda, fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and nothing burgers. That's what we receive, family. See, we need political leaders or political transformative changers who don't just talk about addressing our needs, but who can actually deliver results. See, what they tend to do, family, they tend to tell us about all the issues that black folk go through. And then in turn, when they have these DNC rallies, these DNC conventions, these DNC Palapaloozas, this is what they do.
Texas.
That is what they do. They have a big damn party. And let me show you something else real quick. Let me show you this. This got me fired up. Where is it at? Here, I think it's about to come up. Give me 1 second. That's your boy Chuck Schumer. They're talking about lowering the price of insulin. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. That wasn't bad. They got all these failed Democrats up here to support Kamala Harris. I'm really trying to find when they had Little John come out. That's what I had this all prepped for you guys. So please excuse me. My computer shut off as I was queuing up this video and trying to chop it and piece it for you guys. But they had Little John come out to once again get the crowd going. And I might have skipped this. So I do apologize, family. I do apologize. I had this all queued up for you guys. And now here was the lady, Michelle Obama. She gave a really good speech. She gave a really informative, intelligent, motivating speech. But let me show you, let me just let you hear some of this speech, fair use for commentary and political news, of how she motivated and galvanized the crowd. And now all these people are going to vote Democrat. And in this speech, what you're going to find out is she's following the playbook of Barack Obama of let me motivate Black people, let me encourage Black people, and let me tell them that democracy is on the line, which America is a constitutional republic. Again, America is a constitutional republic. This is not a democracy according to the Constitution, but nonetheless, let me continue to propagate and propagandize this term in order for Black people to vote. Here we go.
Something wonderfully magical is in the air, isn't it? Yeah. You know, we're feeling it here in this arena, but it's spreading all across this country we love. A familiar feeling that's been buried too deep for far too long. You know what I'm talking about. It's the contagious power of hope. The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation, the dream that our parents and grandparents fought and died and sacrificed for. America.
Lord. Oh, Lord, family. I got much respect for Michelle Obama, very intelligent, very beautiful Black woman, even her elder age. But let me tell you, look past, these are Democratic shields through and through. Through and through. I won't take nothing away from her intelligence. Her intelligence. I won't take nothing away from her beauty, but she's an eloquent, very profound speaker. And this is what the Democratic Party has been doing for decades. They've been doing this since the 60s. They've been talking and talking and talking to Black folk, all the while doing nothing in return. Nothing in return. And shout out goes out to, let's see, Elite. That was Patti LaBelle. I said Aretha Franklin. Thank you for correcting me. Okay, I see everybody in the room. Crystal Watson, Pink Blue. Okay, I'm going to keep speaking the truth, family. I know a lot of our people don't like the truth. They just want a party. They just want good music. They want a good time. That's why Jim Clyburn always does his fish fries. I see my warrior brother D is being here. You've been a member for 5 months. I appreciate your support for the channel. We're trying to grow this channel to at least 50,000 families. So if you're not a member of the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. I'm going to say a lot of things that you guys may not agree. I may say a lot of things that you are on code with, but I assure you, I want to have you guys to think about the things that I'm saying. You don't have to agree or disagree. Just think about the things that I'm saying. I have my good moderator here, Jermaine Anderson. Thank you for chiming in, brother, supporting the channel as long as you have. We got Pink Blue. Kamala Harris already said that she's not doing anything for Black people. What more you need? She slaps Black people in the face with her words. Thank you very much. We need to vote different. I think this is the end of the road for us Black people, okay? No reparation, no votes. I'm not giving my vote to any of those low lives. And again, this is how they pander to us, family. They come to us with very prominent, beautiful, talented, very informed people in order to convince us to continue to vote Democrat, like a Michelle Obama. Okay, I want to hear from you guys because there's a lot of legislation that has came across Kamala Harris' desk that she was in support of, okay, that has been beneficial for other people, okay? And again, when these people get elected to the presidency, they're the president for all American people, but stop having other Democrats, stop having other people to tell you that they can't just do anything for one particular group, because I will continue to pull out legislations that they have passed for other groups. You guys remember the COVID-19 Hate Crime Act, right? That Kamala Harris co-sponsored. And what this did, this aimed to address the rise in hate crimes and violence against Asian Americans, which they are now federally protected. And this bill expedited the review of COVID-19 hate crimes and provided guidance for state and local law enforcement to establish online reporting of hate crimes. So they got a system in place and they got a federal law to protect them. So anytime you guys get into a verbal altercation or physical altercations, chances are, if you say anything discriminatory or you imply or your body language speaks in deportment of that thing, did you know it can be possibly considered as a hate crime and you'll be going to prison? I don't think you guys understand the gravity of these things. See, what they do, they get on here and they fearmonger black people. They convince black people to vote Democrat, but they never tell you why. Oh, the sake of democracy is at hand. Listen in.
America, hope is making a comeback.
Lord. I didn't want to stop it, family. I wanted you to hear that hope is making a comeback. So my question to you is this: when Barack Obama was in office, what did he do to support the black family? But I can show you some of the things that he's done for other people. I'll show you that. Give me a second here, family. Give me 1 second. Again, my computer cut off right before I went live, so that's probably on me. Let me look up something very quickly. I just want to show you some of the things that Barack Obama has done, okay? And I'm going to show you why he did them too. I'm going to show you why he did them. You guys remember this? I covered this years ago. Now, this Obama administration awards $12 million for assistance to Holocaust survivors. There are approximately 2.5 million per year. Listen to this, per year over 5 years. Will support 4.1 million in programming annually. Now listen to this. Why did he do this? These are our mothers and fathers, our teachers and our mentors. And again, black folk, we have these people too. We have mothers and fathers and we have teachers and mentors. They deserve, now don't forget the Holocaust happened in Germany. We're in America. They deserve to live their remaining years in dignity, and this award will help make that hope a reality. That's what Barack Obama did. Let me show you one more. I'm going to show you one more. Give me 1 second, family. I'm going to pop these things up for you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to fearmonger you. No, I'm not going to do anything of the sort. I'm not going to do anything of the sort because there's a lot of things that I think the people just don't know. Now, this was 1 million or so acres that he made national monuments for some Native American tribes out of Utah. Let me see if I can find that exact verbiage. Okay, but they did it under some sort of protecting the rights. But this, here we go. Environmental groups and Native American tribes. Let me blow this up. Here we go. Who have advocated the protection of both areas applauded the decision. Okay, it says under the new designation, 5 Native American tribes: the Hopi Nation, Navajo, ET tribe. I don't pronounce some of these names, so excuse me. Will co-manage the Bears Ears National Monument while still being allowed access to the areas for traditional collection of plants and firewood. We are particularly pleased that the designation affirms tribal sovereignty and provides a collaborative role for tribes to work with the federal government in maintaining the land. So he gave over 1 million acres of land to Native American tribes. So I just distinctively showed you 2 different groups, Jewish people and Native Americans. Now, if I pop up the COVID-19 bill, you're going to see that was specifically for Asian Americans. So when we dive deep into this, family, once we dive deep into all the bills and legislations that we should be knowing and all the things that they have done, the Democrats have done, then we're going to see that they've done things for other groups and other peoples. I don't even need to get into the LGBTQ protections and incentives and benefits and support. I don't need to do that, do I not? But this right here, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, became law. It became law, family, and look what it has done. Here we go. And you guys have seen this before. I've showed this many a times. And I'm not going to read this, family. I'm just going to let you see that it says Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And if you continue to look through this, it continues to double down and triple down with Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. This is a hate crime bill just for them. And even during this year that this bill got passed, Black Americans were still top of the charts for hate crimes. We were still top of the charts in hate crimes. So Moni Boo says, so you think Trump is better? Hell no. I do not think Trump is better. This is not about who's better, family. This is about who's going to do something for foundational Black Americans, aka American freedmen, who are going to do something for this distinctive group that had a distinct heritage in this country, who has been the foundation, who built this country from the ground up, who have been tortured, who have been subjugated by the laws of Jim Crow, who has been discriminated upon. That's what this is about. This is not about who's better. Because if Kamala Harris would produce intangibles for Black Americans, then vote for Kamala. If Donald Trump was going to produce tangibles for Black Americans, then vote Donald Trump. This is not about who's better. This is not about who's better. This is about tangibles. This is about protection. Bulls fan said Dems make voting like standing online to get into a Costco-like store that ain't got shit on shelves for you to take with you on the way out. Black people trying to save everyone but themselves, sick of it. And Melissa, you are absolutely right, my sister. That is the problem. We keep worrying about everybody else. We're worrying about people in Gaza. We're worrying about people in Ukraine. We're worrying about illegal immigrants, while we're the ones suffering in the most powerful country in the world. And the only thing we get is lip service.
But to be honest, I am realizing that until recently, I have mourned the dimming of that hope. And maybe you've experienced the same feelings, that deep pit in my stomach, a palpable sense of dread about the future. And for me, that mourning has also been mixed with my own personal grief. The last time I was here in my hometown was to memorialize my mother, the woman who showed me the meaning of hard work and humility and decency, the woman who set my moral compass high and showed me the power of my own voice. Folks, I still feel her loss so profoundly. I wasn't even sure if I'd be steady enough to stand before you tonight, but my heart compelled me to be here because of the sense of duty that I feel to honor her memory and to remind us all not to squander the sacrifices our elders made to give us a better future. And in DC, U.S. citizens. My mom, in her steady, quiet way, lived out that striving sense of hope every single day of her life. She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning. So,
Lord, Lord, Lord. Let me show you guys something real quick. This guy was here too. Spike Lee family, they had everybody as this Democratic convention. I just want to walk through because I really want to show you some key points here. I just want to point out a couple of people that you guys may be familiar with. They had actors, they had producers, and they had this smear Trump campaign too. Let's look at this very quickly.
Increase the security and stability financially of your family and expand opportunity for working and middle class Americans.
Please welcome Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
I know you guys like me do not want to hear another speech by Bernie Sanders. All these failed politicians getting on the coats of Kamala Harris. But when I tell you that this Democratic convention lasted more than 5 hours and about 3 hours of it was music, I'm not lying to you.
Chicago, are you ready?
You know, the one thing I ask myself, and this is not getting into identity politics, but I'm gonna play around with it for a second. All of the entertainment was majority Black entertainment. Kamala Harris, we're not gonna get into what her race is, a father Afro-Jamaican. We're not gonna get into her family, but let me tell you this: I didn't hear any Indian music. I didn't hear any bummakla. I didn't hear any Jamaican music. I didn't hear any other music than Black American music. And this was the manipulation to get Black people out and vote. As I told you before, they had Patti LaBelle in the beginning to open this thing up. And I was really trying to find where they had Little John come out. And you know, Little John is a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves Little John. He can get the party crump. He can get the party going. I had all these things done up for you guys, family, and my computer rebooted right before I went live. Okay, so I do apologize for not having things prepared for you guys. I try to be as quick and as thorough as possible. But yeah, family, this was a huge party that they played with Black voters the entire time, because we're absolutely going to get nothing out of this convention, just as well as everybody else is getting everything out from this presidency, like Joe Biden with illegal immigration, with inflation, and they really try to pawn everything off on Donald Trump. They really did. They had Barack Obama there. We got to listen to a little bit of Barack Obama very quickly, because Black people just love Barack Obama. And again, I would take nothing away from Barack Obama's intelligence, his charisma, okay? But when it comes to tangibles, we can no longer be fooled by charismatic, intelligent, well-spoken Black folk who they put in front of us. They will Barack Obama, he intelligent, so you know he ain't gonna lead us astray. Family, for 8 years, he gave Black people nothing. He did everything for every other group except for Black people. When Barack Obama was in office, he did things for Native Americans. He did things for Jewish Americans or Holocaust survivors. And he also made many laws to protect LGBTQ. But where's the anti-hate crime bill for Black Americans? Where is it? Where is it?
Person stupid enough to speak after Michelle Obama. I am feeling hopeful because this convention has always been pretty good to kids with funny names who believe in a country where anything is possible. Because we have a chance to elect someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you.
Okay, I can't let Barack continue to lie, because don't forget when Kamala first announced that she was running for president and they were looking for high-level political figures to support her, to essentially accept her as being the nominee. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were two of the last people to endorse Kamala Harris. They were two of the last. And we have to look again, policy over party, policy over rhetoric, policy over propaganda. Let's just talk about the things that Kamala Harris has either co-sponsored or introduced. The COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act for Asian Americans, she co-sponsored that. Justice for Victims of the Lynching Act, she co-sponsored that. But when you read the Lynching Act, family, if you get lynched and get caught, you're going to jail. We don't need legislation to make it a federal crime if someone is being lynched. It's attempted murder or it's murder. It doesn't really matter. See, again, we have to look through the propaganda. We have to look through the BS of all these laws, all these legislations that's being created that means absolutely nothing, or we already have legislation that covers it. What about the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act? That was sought to make lynching a federal hate crime. But again, it's a hate crime regardless if you're lynching a black person. And again, there are some women out there, you guys are looking at the Maternal Care Act that Kamala Harris introduced to address racial disparities in maternal health care. And a lot of people would like to believe that this legislation aimed to combat the high rates of maternal mortality among black women through better data collection and some implicit bias training and grants for innovative programs. But when on my last broadcast, speaking about the differentiatory and the contrasting factors of this particular act, what we saw is white women are just as close to the data points as black women when it comes to maternal health care. So what does that mean? What am I getting at? What I'm getting at, if certain legislations and acts are implemented, we have to focus that they're not going to be specifically for the black family. They're going to be for everyone. And I'm not stating that is bad. What I am stating, family, is that we continue to vote politically, democratically, predicated upon a couple of things. One, if they're black, or they seem to be black, or they assimilate to be black, or if they cosplay black, then they play on their black ticket, they play on their black card, they put on Chuck Taylors and Timberlands, and they dance to hip hop and rap music, and they have a whole shindig at the DNC, and then they have all of you Negroes out there to vote democratically, because they're going to fearmonger you with the scare tactics of Donald Trump and the right-winged white supremacy crowd to say, oh, they're going to kill democracy. They're going to demolish democracy. They're going to turn America into a dictatorship. We're going to become communists because of Donald Trump. This is the fear-mongering, family. We've already survived 4 years of Donald Trump, and we can survive another 4. Now, before you click off, I am not in support of Donald Trump. I am not MAGA. I am not Republican. I'm just a black man who cares about his people and the continuance of trickery that the Democratic Party continue to give black folks. You guys remember the LIFT Act that Kamala Harris was talking about? She proposed to act to provide a significant tax credit to low and middle income individuals. And somehow this is going to disproportionately benefit black people who face high rates of poverty. Do you guys remember that? Now, if you guys don't remember that, again, I know you guys have seen this clip, but this is where she talks about the LIFT Act. Let me point you in the right direction.
Do you support reparations for black people? Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal, exists, and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the Lift Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you explore.
But if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners. Because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen. The reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country. Right.
Lord, family, we have to listen to these politicians when they tell us to our face that they're not going to do anything. But she will co-sponsor a bill like the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act that, again, has not been passed into law. And what this does is it decriminalizes and deschedule cannabis to provide for reinvestment in certain persons adversely impacted by the war on drugs, to provide for expungement of certain cannabis offenses and for other purposes. It goes on to state that the legacy of racial and ethnic injustices compounded by the disproportionate collateral consequences of 80 years of cannabis. Can I tell you something, family? When I was in college, there were more white people smoking marijuana than black people. Are you listening to me? There were more white people smoking. That's how I found out about a bong. I say, man, what's that thing y'all smoking out of? Oh, man, this is the octopus bong. It had 8 tentacles. And all these white people was smoking on the bong. They talking about, man, this is cleaner than a blunt. They knew more about marijuana than a black family will ever know. But they somehow put things, they put certain verbiage because they want you to believe that they're talking to you. A legacy of racial and ethnic injustices. Now, when people use the word ethnic, don't forget white people are ethnic too. They have different ethnicities in white America, right? You can be Ukrainian, you can be Russian, you can be British, you can be Czechoslovakian, you can be Romanian, you can be German, right? They have different ethnics as well. So don't get fooled and tricked by them use of racial and ethnic injustices. You can be Italian, okay? You can be all of these different things. But they will have believed that this is going to disproportionately help black people. See, black people, Kamala Harris co-sponsored this. Now, she's not on the bill, as you can tell. It was sponsored by Ralph Nader, but she was in support of this bill. She was in support of this bill just as she was the Safe Justice Act, which supposedly aimed at criminal justice reform by reducing mandatory minimum sentencing and promoting rehabilitation over incarceration with significant implications for communities of color. That's what the verbiage states, family. We are overrepresented in prison. We are overrepresented being homeless. We're overrepresented in unemployment. We're overrepresented representing and not making equal pay for the equal job of our counterparts from non-Black communities. But they want to get on here and get prominent figures like Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Lil Jon, Quavo, Meg Thee Stallion, okay, Spike Lee, Patti LaBelle, you name it. They had, this was the DNC party, family. This was the DNC block party. Because I'm tired of the lies. I don't want to even hear Barack Obama no more. I really don't, family. I've been looking for this damn Lil Jon clip for so long because he got the crowd hype. He got the crowd hype. But I want you to see the extent that the Democratic Party comes out with. And are you guys familiar with this actor right here? I'm just going to turn this off while I speak to you guys. Now, this guy right here, his name is it Michael Greer? He's a well-known actor. He played in The Suits. He played in a couple of spy movies. You guys are familiar with this guy, right? Listen in.
Bohemia was jazz, and nothing could be more emblematic of jazz and democracy than what we swing with in the Big Easy. And it's because of that that I am here to cast my personal vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. And now the leader of...
Now, if you guys are not familiar, they had All I Do Is Win by, what's the guy's name, family? All I Do Is Win. Forget his name. Very popular R&B artist who use auto tunes, but he can really sing. Someone put it in the chat for me. I'm having a brain fart here. My memory is lapsed because there's so much going on in my mind right now. Because everything they did to motivate people and influence Black people and manipulate Black folk to go out and vote. Look, they got a DJ. This dude got a blue velvet suit on. He's hipping and hopping and getting people excited. I mean, what is this? What is the DNC National Convention? Is it supposed to be a block party? Is this supposed to be a block party, family? Because that's all I saw was people partying, having a good time, people talking trash. Family. What is this all about here? Can someone please tell me? Who? T-Pain. Thank you. Thank you, Melissa Price and Travis. I'm trying to get, they had Spike Lee. Who else they had up here? I'm really trying to get the Lil Jon. Where's Lil Jon? Oh, they had this guy. You remember these guys right here. The guy with the afro. They were speaking like they were from the 70s. Let's see what they said. They had a Native American here.
Opportunities, more good paying jobs, better access to healthcare, and a quality education. That is the future we deserve. And it is the future we will win on November 5th when we elect Kamala Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The state of South Dakota is proud to be part of such a
HBCUs and the state that gave women the right to vote. From the bluffs of Memphis to the peaks of Mountain City, the movement for justice rooted in love in Tennessee is still strong. It is a movement where kids are free from gun violence, a movement where women have the right to choose, a movement where working people get access to economic opportunity, a movement where those who have been pushed to the periphery are brought to the center, a movement where those who have been pushed down are lifted up. It is alive in Tennessee because we believe that justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream, which is why we are so proud to have been the first state in the union to have pledged.
Lord have mercy. What are these people doing? See, family, I think the reason why some of these people are speaking in the manner in which they're speaking is because Black folk, a lot of us grew up in the church. And so anytime we hear somebody speak emphatically and fast and within a certain tone, we start to get excited because we feel like they're preaching. They're speaking to our soul. When Kamala Harris comes out and she does everything that the Black people want her to do, a gentle young man came down from Selma and he marched across Edmund Pratt's bid and he put in and he sacrificed with the water hoses and the dogs barking at his feet, he passed into law the Civil Rights Act. And Kamala Harris, the reincarnation of Betty LaBass, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. That's how they do it. That's how they do it, family. They scream, they shout, they say all of these things to motivate you. What Kamala Harris has done for the American society, and let alone the Black community, was the First Step Act. And that was the piece of legislation that aims to reform the criminal justice system and protect and free all Black folk, particularly by the reducing the mandatory minimum sentencing and sentence for non-violent drug offenses. That means that our Black brothers and sisters can get out of prison. They can get out of jail and smoke all the weed that they can smoke. They can hit all the blunts that they can puff. They can choke on the chokeable smoke of the irritable. Man, please. Man, please. Stop getting excited over this BS. Anybody can get a mic, like myself, and scream and shout and holler, but how many people are going to tell you the truth? How many people are going to tell you the truth? And someone said that Little John is on the Georgia roll call. I done probably passed that 10,000 times. If somebody knows the minute mark, I will go to it just so you guys can see Little John and how he started this kind of a rant that the crowd was cheering. That's the only part I really wanted to get at, you know. That's the only part that I really wanted to get at. Hopefully I can come up on it here, family. But family, let me tell you, this was a large block party. This was Lollapalooza. This was the cookout. They had everybody and their mama there. They had mama and them there. They had everybody talking. Like I said, I felt like over 100 people spoke. There were so many people talking. There were so many people going on. This was 5 hours of BS. This was 5 hours of BS. Yeah, I can't find it, family. I know you guys want to hear a little more about Obama, what he said, right? Let's listen in.
This election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. He wants the middle class to pay the price.
So again, let me come on camera real quick. Family, we got to stop being duped. I'm muted. I was muted. My bad. I was saying that I'm coming on camera to tell you that Barack Obama, I voted for him twice, and blame me because in those 8 years, I was trying to find, I believe at one of his rallies, when they asked him a question about reparations for descendants of American slavery, and Barack Obama started talking about Native Americans. They asked the same question to Joe Biden. Joe Biden started talking about illegal immigrants. They asked the same question to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris basically say, I'm not doing anything for black folk that doesn't affect the rest of the nation. Why is that part important? Because we've seen them create and pass legislation either by a bill or an executive order that specifically targets a community that needs the support, or maybe not need the support, but they get it, or who has been harmed, or who is being harmed. We're not being afforded those same protections. Now, granted, they said we're going to create an anti-black hate crime bill. You're going to have a lot more black people on board. We're going to make the descendants of American slaves tax exempt. You're going to have a lot more black votes. But the problem is they get people on here and we're dancing, we're playing music, okay? We're doing all these things. Let me show you how they fearmonger black folk. Let me show you. I think it's back here somewhere. Give me a second. I want to show you. Look, they got, oh my God. They have mascots. They got people in uniforms. Lord have mercy. Let me show you. Here we go. This is how they fearmonger black folk.
Woman. I'm a better looking person than Kamala. He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Kim Jong-un I had a good relationship with. He's a tough, smart guy. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Well, they're the weird ones. JD is not at all.
The people who are most deranged and most psychotic are people who don't have kids at home.
Let's give votes to all children in this country, but let's give control over those votes to the parents of those children.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
That is the fear mongering known by the Constitution of America that we can't have a president more than 8 years. So people was using that to basically tell black people that Donald Trump is trying to be a dictator. Excuse me. Let me just let me come on full camera real quick, family. I'm trying to look for something here. But this is some of the tactics they use in order to scare people into voting. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm no Trump supporter. I'm in support of policies, legislations, and bills that's going to benefit the black family. And we're not receiving no support, no tangibles from either party. I'm skimming through this very quickly, family. Give me a second here. Again, I don't know why I don't know why I want to show you this so bad. I might have to end up giving up here. Someone said this on the Georgia. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to Georgia. I'm getting every state except Georgia. I'm getting Colorado. Here we go. Lord. Here we go. You guys got to hear this mess. You guys got to hear this mess right here, family. They didn't have Little John to come out. Lord. Look at this.
Get out! Another round of shots! DNC! Turn out for what? Turn out for what? Hey! Out for what? Hey! Everybody get your hands up! Hey! Everybody get your hands up! Hey! Everybody get your hands up! Now, say, we're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going
VP Harris, coming to wall. VP Harris, giving the wall. Hey.
Mr. Secretary.
That's what I was talking about. To the windows, to the walls. That's what he was talking about. He actually said that. He said to the windows, to the walls. I was really, Lord. Got to be more careful.
We are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president. Fire, get loud, another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what? Turn out for what? Let's go, let's go. Now, say, we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. VP Harris, coming to wall. VP Harris, giving the wall. Hey.
Mr. Secretary.
Family, that's all I got for you. This is the problem. When they come to black folk, they throw a party, but they never tell you what they're going to do for you. They get a bunch of black people. You know, here's your boy right here. Here's your boy.
The South got something.
They got all the boule out there. They got all the boule butt kissers out there. And this is how they trick us every 4 years. That's what they do, family. They trick us every 4 years. They got these old fossils out here talking about being democratic and doing something for the American people, where black people have been harmed the most, have been subjugated the most, have been benign neglected the most, but they can do things for other groups. But they come here, they have a big shindig, they have a large party, and the only thing they were talking about is potentially what Kamala Harris is going to do, not what she has done, because we don't want to talk about what she has done. Oh, God. We start talking about what she has done. We start going back to when she was the DA in California, when she was a senator, and the nothing burger she did as a VP. And granted, VPs, and you look at certain websites there, this is a governmenttrack.com. They stated that she's introduced in 2019 54 bills, which was the 19th amongst 100 senators. Then 4 of her 131 bills were enacted into law. That's good for a first-term Democrat. The Count Victims Act. So you're going to count victims. Okay. I don't know who would not pass that bill. That doesn't, I mean, it's data collection, is it not? It's not significant. The Disaster Victims Passport ID Relief Act about wildfires and flood in Harris's home state of California. Okay, so she did something from California. Cool. Justice for Victims of Lynching Act. Okay. It states here that primarily associated with racially motivated killings by white people against black people in the antebellum and Jim Crow era South, right? It stated that the bill attracted 39 co-sponsors, 28 Democrats, 9 Republicans. and it was introduced in February of 2019, where it attracted 47 co-sponsors. It goes on and on and on. Okay, they talk about the Emmett Till Act, as we talked about before. A lot of these are nothing burgers, family. Because if a white person, an Asian person, or Hispanic person gets lynched, it's a hate crime for them too. See, what they do is when they create so-called laws for black folk, they try to create legislation that has been highlighted, that has been gaslighted by specific groups that seem that it only happens to black folk. Okay. But again, we're not just being lynched. Now, granted, over the course of 5 years, I believe there was 12 people who were lynched. But according to police reports, and take that with a grain of salt, that they have committed suicide, and these people were black. Okay. But again, guess what? Out of those 12 cases of people getting hung and or lynched, none of the perpetrators were caught. They didn't even have anyone that was a suspect in these crimes. Now, granted, this might have changed. My information is probably a couple of months old when I first did the research. So if something has come to light, then, but yeah, up until this point, family, there's been no information. There's been no evidence. But what I'm stating is if you lynch somebody and you get caught, you're going to jail regardless. So a lot of these legislations are empty. They're insignificant. But when you start asking about land grants, a black anti-hate crime bill, tax exemption status, cutting the check, reparation, cash payments, they're like, no, we don't have money for American descendants of slaves. We don't have money for American freemen. We don't have money for foundational black Americans. But if we look at the foreign budget, we have money to give to other countries to keep their infrastructures intact. We have money for the Ukraine-Russian war. We have money for the Israel-Palestinian/Gaza conflict. Yeah. We have money to continue to give reparations to Native Americans. And family, I'm not hating, but stop telling me that you don't have the money. My taxes that I pay tells me you have the money, and you have a boatload of it, because all of these legislators, all of these politicians are getting paid off the American tax dollar. And granted, President Zelensky's wife, a couple of months ago, and I'm just going to put her business out there because as a foundational black American, we need to be pocket watching. Yeah, we do. We need to be pocket watching, just like this. Wait a minute. The president, the first lady of Ukraine went out and bought a Bugatti. Y'all think I'm lying? Let me look this up very quickly. Let me look this up. And yeah, they're probably not taking the money that the U.S. is giving Ukraine for the war. See, they're not taking the money buying Bugattis, going to Dubai. They're not doing that. They're not doing that, family. They're not doing, I think it was a Bugatti. What was it? Because she spent like $4 million. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me pop it up. We'll read it together. I don't want to feed you no lies. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's fact check it, they saying. They say they're accusing Olena Zelensky, okay, of using millions of taxpayers' money to purchase a hypercar not yet released to the market. Okay, see false claims and see a fake invoice. Okay. They saying it isn't truth. They claim that the Zelensky bought the car appeared in various low-profile Russian news, all of which pointed to a supposedly respectable French website. Okay, they say all these people are wrong. Always be on the lookout for Russian disinformation. I don't know, family. That's what I'm saying. Allegedly, she bought a $4 million Bugatti that has not been released to the market. Allegedly, I don't know. But out of all things, why make up a story about a car that was $4 million? Why not something more significant? You see what I'm saying? Like, again, I don't know, but it just seems odd that they're like, you know what? Let's make up a story about President Zelensky's wife buying a $4 million Bugatti that has not been yet released. I want to know if Bugatti will come out and say that, no, she didn't buy this potential car. I was trying, again, family, I looked at this very quickly. I don't know, family. Lord. And the reason why you really can't get on board with any of these politicians, mainly because even Donald Trump has changed his stance. Donald Trump has changed his stance on immigration. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him changing his stance, but let's look in on this very quickly. This is coming from my Twitter.
Basically, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the energy prices down almost immediately, and we're going to close the border, and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different.
What? He said we're going to allow a lot of people in because we need a lot of people. When I look at over 1 million people homeless that could be rehabilitated, because we've seen stories that seem to be true, okay, of migrants, illegal immigrants, receiving $20,000 a month for 2 years, $15,000 in EBT money, $5,000 in cash payments. And a lot of their apartments are being paid for. Now, granted, family, if you gave me $15,000 in food money, first of all, I'm opening my own grocery store because I'm just going to buy those people groceries and then I'm going to sell them for 50 to $1 more. I'm going to go to the direct supplier or manufacturer who are producing the produce, meats, all that. With $15,000 a month, I'm opening up my own grocery store or quote unquote my own farmer's market. Then I'm getting $5,000 in cash. Then I'm going to back it up so you guys can hear what Donald Trump said. So you can't trust none of these. This is why I've always been neutral. And people who are new to the channel, they're like, oh, you're a MAGA supporter, you're a Trump supporter because you go hard on the Democrats. I go hard on all of these politicians. These damn politicians will tell you one thing one day and then the very next day.
And we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out. And we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things. And the farmers need, everybody needs. But we're going to make sure that they're not murderers, killers, drug dealers, and the kind of people that we have.
How, Donald Trump? How are you going to ensure the American people that the people that you are allowing inside of this country are not murderers, killers, rapists, people that's part of cartels? Because what people don't understand, cartels have sleeper agents. Cartels have young men from the ages of 18 to 35 that don't have any tattoos. And if they do have a tattoo, they're under their armpit to show what cartel they're a part of. Things that cannot be easily seen or distinguishable when looking at them. They're highly intelligent and they go out throughout the country and do the cartel's business. Even cartels have sleeper agents. So how are you going to ensure that the people you let inside the country, okay? Because again, he said he's going to get rid of all of these particular people. All illegal immigrants are not bad people, but they are in the country illegally. So they broke the law. That doesn't necessarily make them bad people because that means that every single American who drives on the road are bad people because we all speed. We all break the speed limit. I have not yet met any person who have always abide by the speed limit. You either go 5 over or 5 under, okay? Sometimes 10 and 20, but that's the here nor there. But nonetheless, what I'm stating is, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? This is why you can't trust these politicians. They change day to day. They change their rhetoric and their propaganda like we change our draws every single day.
Get the energy prices down almost immediately, and we're going to close the border, and we're going to get the crooked ones out, the bad ones out, and we're going to let a lot of people come in because we need more people, especially with AI coming and all of the different things, and the farmers need, everybody needs. But we're going to make sure that they're not murderers, killers, drug dealers, and the kind of people that we have largely coming in right now. Okay?
Mr. President.
But
And family, when Donald Trump is talking about letting in people, I think a lot of you are thinking Hispanics, a lot of you are thinking Venezuelans. What Trump is really talking about is Asians. If you guys are familiar with Japan, Korea, China, India, their youth, their children are going to school for a majority of one topic, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. I know a lot of people are talking about STEAM when it comes to arts. They're still dealing in STEM. That's why when you go to these Fortune 500 companies, majority of the IT, majority of the computer help desk guys are Indian. They are Indian, they are Pakistani, they are from Bangladesh, they're from Nepal, they're from that brown Asian region. That's because majority of their kids are going to school for one thing. They're either going to be a doctor or they're going to be in IT. That is what we are faced with. That is what we're faced with, family. So you're going to get people on both sides trying to fearmonger people, especially black folk, because whoever wins the black vote is going to win the presidency. And you know another thing I'm tired of? I'm tired of non-black Americans speaking on American politics. A lot of these people are not even in the country, but they come inside of our spaces. They're speaking all sorts of rhetoric. Whether they're speaking for Trump or against Trump, for Kamala, against Kamala, and they have no buy-in. And they want to know about our reparations claim. And then some of them would like to know how they can get in on it. How we're just one big Negro of how we should be fighting the system of white supremacy in all these different countries. And we have to understand that black people, and we keep saying this as though we don't know what it means, that black people in general are not a monolith. You don't hear Nigerians say that I'm a black American. You don't hear Kenyans say that I'm a black American. You don't hear the Zulus say that they're black American. They say I'm Nigerian, I'm from this tribe, I'm Kenyan, I'm from this tribe, I'm Ugandan, I'm from this tribe. And when we say we're black American and we delineate and we don't associate ourselves with the term African American, because African what? What African country accepts black Americans? I'll wait. What African country accepts black Americans? Where you can land on African soil, you kiss the ground, you kiss the ring, you worship the ground, and they say, you know what? We know you love it here in Niger. You love it here in Mali. You love it here in the Ivory Coast. You love it here in Senegal, the Congo, Sudan, South or North, whatever one you want to take. You love it here in South Africa. We're going to give you dual citizenship free of charge. What African country has done that? Please don't tell me about Ghana. Been there. That whole right to abode thing, that's a farce. You bet not go to Ghana without no money talking about you want to live there and you want to exercise the legislation of right to abode. Please. And here's another thing about Ghana. The people of Ghana are some of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. I have nothing negative, nothing bad to say about Ghanaians. Nothing. Okay, except their tether class. Okay, except their tether class. But the Ghanaian people are some of the nicest people I have ever met my entire life. But unfortunately, unfortunately, the system of white supremacy and colonialism has that country in shambles. You can be riding on a paved road in Ghana and then end up on a dirt road. And you're like, what the hell? And then end up on a paved road. And then then Ghana, you have to wash your car every day. There's this red dust that flies across Ghana each and every day. You see people washing their cars every day because your car be red. Then all the different shots you have to take before you go to Ghana. Yellow fever, Japanese influenza. I don't know. You have to take them all because they have mosquitoes over there. They're small. Some of them are very small. Some of them are very large. There occurs all types of certain diseases and things. No. So if you guys are you're going to move to Ghana, better do your damn research first, family. You better do your research. That's all I'm telling you.
And it's my favorite. I don't ever want to not leave it like this. I want to finish it.
You hungry?
Not really.
Oh. You better eat that food. You better eat it. Huh? No. It tastes good. It's gonna make you feel better.
I don't want this. It just looks like dinosaur feet. Chicken feet.
Almost lost my breath, family. They was just doing this movie where they gave fried chicken feet to a Nigerian kid and to a Black American kid. And this is the difference.
And it's my favorite. I don't ever want to not leave it like this. I want to finish it.
You hungry?
Not really.
Oh. You better eat that food. You better eat it. Huh? No. It tastes good. It's gonna make you feel better.
I don't want this. It just looks like dinosaur feet. Chicken feet.
Bless their heart. Both of the kids are beautiful, but did you see that? Did you see the American kid? He was fidgeting. He like, I don't want that. He was traumatized. Don't be feeding our kids that. He said it looks like dinosaur feet. Lord have mercy. You can't take these kids anywhere. Oh, Lord. Family, that's all I have for you this afternoon. But I had to get on here earlier than usual, family. I know a lot of you guys at work. And you know, the thing about it, family, we go through a lot in this country from other groups that doesn't get widely reported. It doesn't get widely reported, family. But this is how we're treated when we go and eat in restaurants where people don't respect us. They want our money, but they don't respect us.
You just said you was gonna refund me my money, so refund me my money.
It's because we thought that your food.
No, man. I had to taste the food. 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 I don't like it. I want my refund. I had to taste the food. I had to taste my food.
Did you see the signing here?
No, I want my refund. Well, y'all was just gonna give me a refund. I don't like the food. I've been coming here all my life, and the food, I'm not used to the food tastes like this. No. Y'all don't always fucking play. Who's yelling at? Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me.
Now, family, I have no idea why this brother's like hit me to an old Asian lady. He needs to be careful with that. Just be very, very careful with that. But I'll tell you this. Now, if you look in the back here, family, this is an Asian restaurant, but look who's cooking the food. Look who's cooking the food here. That's your boy Hernandez. Okay. That's your boy Hernandez. There's Carlos. All right. They're not, Asians are not even cooking their food anymore because they will have to pay the other Asians at least minimum wage, right? So again, they get Hispanic people who allegedly may be illegal immigrants where they'll probably only pay them $5 an hour. Okay. I don't agree with the brother talking about hit me, that sort of thing. And he's a regular customer here. But I'm just looking at the dynamics of this. I'm looking at the dynamics of it.
No. Bro, I only ate 2 wings. I don't like it. It's tough.
It's only you who's always complaining.
No, I'm not always complaining. I don't always complain about my food. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't always complain about my food. I want my, bro, no, bro. No, bro. No. No, it's not always me.
It's always
No, it's not. No, it's not. Ever since Carlos left the store, everything been fucked up. Everything been fucked up. Everything fucked up. No. Yeah, y'all nasty. Y'all nasty as fuck. Nasty.
Now, family, I'm not on the side of nobody on that particular video because the brother definitely goes there a lot. He even know a guy who used to cook there by the name of Carlos, and he continues to go to this shop, and they're not cooking, I guess, tasteful food ever since Carlos left. But the point of the matter is we really need to start supporting our own or go where our dollar is appreciated. Because let me tell you something. I lived in Korea for 4 years. I lived in Japan for a year. And most Asian cultures that I've been to, they don't do refunds. And what you have to understand is you would like to believe that when people come to America, that they should adhere to American culture. Meaning when you don't like your food or is inadequate, it doesn't taste the way you thought it would taste, you can return it, either get a refund or get something else to order. They don't do that in Asia. I try to return something in Korea, no, you're not getting a refund. That's part of their culture. Now, maybe that's part of their culture when it comes to an American over there in their country, but I've never really heard of them giving people refunds or exchange of meals. I never really heard of that. Maybe you guys have experienced that, but I have not. So it could be cultural. I don't know. But this guy keeps going there. That's why I don't give any support of what he's doing. That was just stupid. But anyway, family, let me read some of your comments here. I see you guys been chiming in. Melissa Price said our disparities are the blueprint for others to get financial support. That's a really good point, sister. I like that. My warrior brother DSB says they lynch us now through the police and crazy Karens and Kens. I've been telling people Trump is not going to send people back in mass numbers. He may send a couple Asian people, Chinese people, and most have the black people that came in the back. Absolutely. You guys are making some really good points. Melissa states that Africans are divided. So, of course, they don't accept African Americans. Of course. See, Marcus Copes, that was a money grab. Let's see. They have their own bill. Yeah, they have their own bill now. And indeed, they do. But thank you guys for joining me here at midday on a Wednesday. Hump day. So I know you guys probably needed this during your lunch hour. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you think anyone from the information provided here, of course, with some of my banter and rhetoric and bias, that they can benefit from it, just getting the truth, unadulterated, unfiltered, then please share this and like this video across your social medias so others can enjoy it and take it for what it's worth, okay? So thank you guys. You guys have a great and beautiful day. Be one.